Welcome everybody, and good afternoon, good morning to everybody. Thank you for joining this new member call in preparation for the meeting next week. Again, I apologize, I'm a few minutes late. I have been in Zooms all morning on various issues. I was hoping to have 5 minutes to put a tie on, but for this meeting, but that did not happen. So you get the casual, Chris. So I'm Christopher Fox, the CEO of AADOCR. And thank you again for joining us. And Aubrey, can you start sharing the slides? And this is just sort of an overview of both the organization and the meeting. And then we'll open it up for questions after that. But feel free to enter any questions along the way or just stop me if you'd like by taking yourself off mute. But you can put questions in. I don't see a Q&A, but if you just put them in the chat, we'll make sure we review those before we leave. That Aubrey's shaking her head yes. So you can just put any questions you have in the chat. So again, this is our new member and first time attendee orientation. Next slide, please. So for those of you new to the organization, our mission is to drive dental, oral, and craniofacial research to advance health and well-being. And our vision is oral health through discovery and dissemination. We have a values statement, which centers around 3 different areas of scientific excellence, social responsibility, and scientific community. In scientific excellence, we value science that's conducted at the highest possible levels of rigor, innovation, and ethics across disciplines from discovery science to clinical implementation to global population health. We take positions in pursuit of science to improve health and well-being for all people, to reduce health inequalities and inequities, and to proactively take actions and positions to improve health. And then for the scientific community or the workforce, we value a diverse and inclusive scientific workforce, promoting work-life balance and supporting educational activities and mentoring networks to develop the next generation of scientists. Our current board of directors, our current president is Effie Ioannidou from UCSF. Our president-elect is Jennifer Webster-Syriac, who's currently the acting director of NIDCR. Nisha De Silva from Michigan is our vice president, and Alex Vera is our immediate past president. And you can read the rest, but our elected officers, they're on the board for a 4-year period of time. So our incoming vice president is Margarita Fontana from Michigan. So she will become vice president at the conclusion of this meeting in New York, and then she becomes president-elect, president, and immediate past president. So it's a very nice way to have continuity on the board, that the elected officers at least, stay on the board for 4 years, and most of the other positions are either 2 or 3 years. Go ahead. When you join IADR and AADOCR, you automatically get to join one of the scientific research groups or networks. And over the years, this has grown to 36 research groups and networks, and everything from behavioral science to craniofacial biology to stem cell biology, and then different networks in terms of clinical translational research, evidence-based dentistry, women in science network, et cetera. So I think no matter what your scientific discipline is, you're going to be able to find a smaller scientific home amongst one of these scientific groups or networks. You know, the meeting itself can be quite large with several thousand people at the meeting, a little over 2,000 for New York, but a combined IADR, AADOCR meeting may have between 4,000 and 5,000. So it can be a little bit overwhelming, but the scientific groups are much more focused within your area, and you'll meet other scientists from other universities and even from other countries at the business meetings of the scientific groups, which these days are mostly virtual, but you can then attend the sessions that they organize at a annual meeting or an IADR general session. Next slide, please. And so, AADR is really the only professional community for multidisciplinary scientists to advance dental, oral, and craniofacial research. Next slide. And here is our membership at the end of the end of last year, and we had over 3,000. It's very small to see on the bottom right, or just underneath, right underneath Puerto Rico, 3,145 members. And you can see the different AADOCR sections across the country. Most of our membership is in the Northeast corridor, mainly due to the number of dental schools and other dental institutions between Washington, D.C. and Boston. But of course, California, the West Coast has a number of members also, with Oregon and Washington also, and we have sections across the country. Okay, and that's why we're hoping this meeting in New York is sort of favorably located in terms of our membership. I think at least half of our AADOCR members will be able to drive to the New York meeting if they so chose to do so. Of course, you'd be crazy to drive to New York with congestion charges and $60 a night to park your car. But there's lots of other more public transit oriented ways to get to New York. So when you become an AADOCR member, you get lots of benefits, including you're part of the IDR community. So you're part of this international scientific group. You get access to our two main publications, which are the Journal of Dental Research and JDR Clinical and Translational Research. And we have some more slides on details on that coming up. You get to be part of a scientific group or network. And I should have mentioned also, while you get one scientific group or network as part of your membership, you're more than welcome to join additional groups or networks for an additional $20 per group or network. We record a number of sessions from our meetings and also from webinars, and you have access to that in our CE On Demand library. You get a steep discount to attend our meetings if you're a member. It's actually cheaper to be a member and pay the member rate for our meetings than it is to be a non-member and pay the non-member rate. We do that sort of intentionally. Lots of awards and fellowships that you're only eligible for if you're a member. Advocacy, we have Advocacy Day coming up April 2nd and 3rd. Could really use your help there if anybody can come to DC at that time. And we've got some more slides on that coming up. A career center, and you've got access to our membership directory. So if you want to find other members in AADOCR or across IADR, you can do that through our membership directory. Okay. And this is Journal of Dental Research, which is now over 105 years old, formed in 1919 by William J. Guys, who was also the founder of IADR. The current editor-in-chief is Nick Jakubovics from University of Newcastle in the UK. It has a very solid impact factor, a 2-year impact factor, most recently of 7.6. And that ranks number 3 out of 91 journals in our dentistry and oral health sciences category. It's a 5-year impact factor of 7.6 also. An eigenfactor of number 3 out of 91 journals, and total citations number 1. So really, in terms of journals publishing original research and in a multidisciplinary way, Journal of Dental Research is really number 1 in a variety of different metrics. Next slide. In 2016, we launched a companion journal to the Journal of Dental Research called JDR Clinical and Translational Research. And that's not to say that clinical research was not being published in JDR, but we wanted a publication that had more of the emphasis on the clinical and translational piece. And the founding editor-in-chief remains in that position as Jocelyn Fine from McGill University in Montreal, Canada. And for launching a new journal, that does take a while to get an impact factor. We finally got an impact factor last year, and this slide needs to be updated because 3.0 was the impact factor received in the first year that we had an impact factor. I think it's slightly lower at the moment, but very solid in the top quartile of journals. So for a new journal, a very solid impact factor. Okay, next slide. You then become part of the AADOCR community, and this allows you to network and post comments in our community platform and ask questions and find collaborators, and you have access to that as an AADOCR member. Next slide. And we have our webinar and CE On Demand libraries. You can view past recordings from meetings, but we're sort of shifting our focus on terms of recordings from our meetings to webinars. And each of our scientific groups and networks have access to providing webinars to our members. and those webinars will be recorded and on this platform. What we have found is that we spend a lot of resources on recording at our meetings, but the usage rate, people that actually go back and watch or watch for the first time any of the sessions that were recorded, was actually very, very low compared to the expenses of it. So that we're now focusing our efforts more on webinars, which are more cost effective for us to both record and seems to be more popular because it's more of a focused area with our membership. So you get access to that as a member. And this is also on our AADR Connect platform. These are the webinars from our scientific groups and networks. Okay. Awards and fellowships. You have to be a member for a number of our awards and fellowships. We have over 100 of these. And they range from things like our Distinguished Scientist Awards, which are at a very senior category, sort of capstone of your career in 17 different categories. And then we have a number of awards and fellowships that are more mid-career, new investigator level. And then, of course, we have a lot of student awards because we really do pay attention to that next generation of members. So we have AADOCR Student Research Day, Student Research Fellowships. We recently took over the SCADA program from the ADA that is sponsored by Dentsply Sirona. And one of the highlights of our meeting is the Hatton competition. And at the AADOCR level, you can compete at the junior, senior, and postdoctoral levels. And then the top 6 winners and the first place and second place of each of those 3 categories then goes on and competes at the IADR level. And then each of the scientific groups and networks will have additional awards. So you have to really go to their website, go to our IADR website, go to the scientific groups and networks, and then drill down to your scientific group and network to their website, and they will then have what awards and fellowships they have available. Okay. This has been a wonderful program. We're in our 5th year of the Mind the Future program, and this stands for Mentoring and Inclusive Network for a Diverse Workforce of the Future. My co-investigators, I'm a co-PI with Effie Ioannidou from UCSF, also our current president, as I mentioned earlier, and David Drake from the University of Iowa. And this program takes 10 or 11 mentees each year. We match them with a mentor. It's a year-long program, and it is really to prepare our scientific workforce for the future. And we've been very successful with this program. Over 60% of the alumni of this program have gone on and gotten future NIH funding. So it's really a very, very successful program and one that NIDCR is proud of also. The next slide. If you're a student member, you're automatically a member of the National Student Research Group, and they are a student-run group that fosters an environment. They really do a lot at the dental school level to foster a atmosphere and environment of dental research. In some instances, we've got students that have gone to their dean or the research dean asking for more research opportunities in their training, and that's been great to see. Next slide. So at our meeting not at our meeting, but they have a business meeting at our meeting. Sorry, I should say I'm reading this in reverse order, but they have a business meeting on Thursday. If you're coming to the New York meeting, March 13th at 5 p.m. at the Javits Convention Center, but then also in 2 days' time, they have a virtual session called Sharing Our Student Leadership Experiences, learning from the student research groups at the local level, and to make their plans for New York City. So if you're a student, and we define student as anybody that is still in training, so dental students, postgraduate students, residents can be students. You can be a student for up to 8 years. And so please attend these sessions. Go ahead. This is one of the calls I was on earlier today on government affairs and advocacy. We have our Advocacy Day coming up April 2nd and 3rd, and here's where we have members that are really talking to their elected leadership on the importance of dental, oral, and craniofacial research. We provide policymakers with testimony. Typically, our president will file written testimony occasionally, although not lately. We've had opportunities for in-person testimony on the Hill. We hosted we will host the Advocacy Day, as I said, on April 2nd and 3rd, and we do that in conjunction with our colleagues at ADEA, the American Dental Education Association, as well as the Friends of NIDCR organization, which we also manage. And they will also be analyzing proposed legislation, regulatory actions, and really explaining to policymakers, the work that you're doing at your schools and your labs, that they understand that the importance of the investment that they're making in research. Was that a question or was that a throat clearing? There's a lot going on around at the moment, so that might have been just throat clearing. So, friends, here's our Advocacy Day information, April 2nd through 3rd. Our Director of Government Affairs is Yehuda Sugarman. You can see his email down there. And we extended the deadline to register for the meeting. We need you to register because we want to match you with your congressional offices or pair you with others that may be coming from your same districts. So the registration deadline was last Friday, but we extended it to this Friday, I believe, March 7th. So you still have a couple of days to register if you're able to get to New York. Unfortunately, we don't have any funding available to come to New York for either travel or accommodations. But once you're here, we will set everything up. And we do provide a lunch and breakfast. And we'll provide you with all the training that you will need to go up on the Hill. Next slide. So hopefully you have all already been perusing the program and planning your time in at the Jacob Javits Center. You can download this app right from this QR code right on your slide right now. If you whip your smartphone out and take a picture of this, you'll be able to download our app. And then everything is run through the app. We don't have anything printed anymore, so you really do need to have this app handy, either on a smartphone or if you carry around an iPad, something like that. Now, prior to that, though, if you're working at your desktop, you can also look at the full program. If you go to the AADOCR website and then go to a meeting, you can actually view the whole program there to sort of make your plan, and that'll then sync with the app. But you really do need this to get around and figure out which rooms you're going to at the Javits Center. It's a fairly large convention center, so you'll want to make sure you have this app and has floor plans on it, et cetera, so you'll know your way around. No matter what your area of science is, please plan on. Oh, I see. We have a question here, and maybe Christopher Flo can answer this, is what is the access code? I've already downloaded it, so I forgot that it asked you for an access code. Oh, there we go. AADOCR 2025. So that's not something we wanted to keep private, obviously. We made it fairly obvious. So AADOCR 2025 will get you into our particular app. So we have a distinguished lecture series speakers. I think we've got a slide on that coming up, and then the opening ceremonies and award presentation on Wednesday. If we can go to the next slide. So you print your badge on level 3 of the Jacob Javits Center. Here are the registration hours. If you're coming in on Tuesday, 2:30 to 6:30, Wednesday through for the rest of the meeting at 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can have a ribbon as a new member or a first-time attendee. And if you're presenting, and I assume many of you are presenting, go to the speaker ready room, which is going to be in room 403, and upload your presentation. And not only upload your presentation, but walk through the slides and make sure we didn't have any formatting issues between getting it from your computer to the computers that we'll be presenting. And there'll be staff there, not our staff, but the vendor that we use for the speaker ready room and the AV component of the meetings there to assist you. Okay. And then again, using the app to navigate the Jacob Javits Convention Center to find sessions. Please attend the Distinguished Lecture Series speakers Wednesday to Friday. And even if you're not in their area of science, the DLS speakers always do pitch their talk to a general scientific audience, so you will certainly be able to follow it. It won't be, you should definitely attend that, even if it seems outside of your normal area of research. And then the opening ceremonies and award presentations on Wednesday, and then there's a reception immediately after that, so do come to that. And then the exhibit hall, which is the same room where the posters will be, is Thursday through Saturday from 9 to 5. And I see a lot of people that are much younger on this call than I am that use social media, I'm sure. So we like to tag us, please, as hashtag AADOCR 2025. Next slide. Here are our DLS speakers. Eduardo Franco from McGill University. He's one of the preeminent scientists in finding the relationship between HPV and oral cancer. So he's going to be talking on the journey to preventing HPV infection, promises and challenges. Abigail Tucker from the UK, understanding dental and craniofacial birth defects using diverse animal models. And then Kim Lewis from Northeastern University in Boston on persister cells and antibiotic discovery. So those will be three fascinating talks. And it's in the same room where we have the opening ceremony. So once you've found that on Wednesday, you'll find each of these speakers as well. Okay. So then after you get through the meeting, those of you who are clinicians and need a CE credits, you can print your certificate of attendance and or presentation online and receive CE credits for the sessions that you have attended. Please share your meeting experience at the ADR community level. You can post within that and then take advantage of the membership benefits throughout the year. And then our 2026 meeting will be in San Diego, March of 2026. And this is save the date here. So that's 1 week later than usual. So it's March 25th through 28th, 2026 in San Diego. And I think we have one more slide. Here's the app again, or the QR code. So to download that, and then with the access code, AADOCR 2025. And here's all of our social media accounts, including our newest one on Blue Sky Social. So you can find us on all of these platforms or tag us here also whichever platform you use the most. And I believe that's it, other than if you have any questions, you can always reach us at research@aadocr.org. That is an email that is monitored by staff regularly, so somebody will respond. I know it can seem like you're writing into a black box, but this black box will respond. Or you can call us at that number as well. And I personally can be reached at cfox@iadr.org. So feel free to reach out to me as well. And I'm happy to take any questions. Did we get any questions in the chat? Yes, I see one now. How to get a transcript of the meeting. Aubrey, can you answer that question?
Yes, we will be able to share the transcript after the meeting.
But how will we do that? Will we just email everybody with a link or?
Yes, we can email. I'll take a note of Sarah's name and then I will reach out to you directly.
Okay. Oh, sorry, this is the reading notes. Good. I'm not seeing any other questions other than the access code and the transfer. Oh, are oral presenters required to share their slide deck with conference organizers in advance? If I'm understanding that question correctly, it's not required, but you will want to upload your presentation in the speaker ready room and make sure that the slides are, in order and showing correctly. Can we do that flow in advance of coming to the meeting, or you have to go to the speaker ready room?
Yes, so hopefully later today or tomorrow, all oral speakers, as well as if you're presenting in one of the competitions like Hatton or an industry-sponsored symposia, so oral abstracts and symposia, hands-on workshop, we'll be getting an email hopefully later today or tomorrow morning with instructions for uploading ahead of time. And then but we still do encourage, even if you upload ahead of time, visit the speaker ready just to make sure that no formatting or text, especially if you're working off a Mac, and we'll be going, over to a PC in the room. Just make sure to stop by to make sure, nothing's out of whack and looking off for the live presentation.
A copy of the slides will also be sent, Aubrey, yes?
Yes, I can send that as well.
Okay. And I see somebody's already answered the question. Yes, it's available on Android phones also. Same access code. Well, there's a question from Ariana on the future. So we're in our 5th year now. So we are up for renewal. And we have not heard yet from NIH or NIDCR. We did get a very solid score on the renewal application. We should find out in the next couple of months whether or not that is going to be renewed, and then we would open up for the 6-year applicants. If you're following the news, you know that this current administration has some issues with the word diversity or DEI, and this grant kind of speaks directly to that. It's in the title, so we're a little nervous that this may or may not get funded, but we are working with our program officer at NIDCR to do what we can, because they're very happy at the NIH level and NIDCR with the program because it's been so successful. And if we can navigate a way to have it continue, we are working on that. But we won't know that before the meeting, but hopefully within the next couple of weeks or so. Another question, is accompanying person's registration still open? Yes. For first-time presenters, where should the required first-time presenters slide be?
It's not a requirement to have that on it, but we do recommend it just so people in the presentation are aware. Just put that little icon likely on your first slide or your intro slide will be sufficient. So no need to put it on every slide and take up space.
Great. Any other questions? That we will also have a know before you go email that's going to be going out sometime this week that'll give you some other hints on navigating the meeting, and I think we say what the weather's going to be, etc. Unlike other meetings that some of you may have attended, other meetings, the convention center is not really near. Well, it's at least a 10 to 15-minute walk from most hotels to the Javits Center. Javits is kind of on the west side along the Hudson River, and the hotels are a little bit further away. So you will need to take a 10 or 15-minute walk. And as with any big city, you want to be aware of your surroundings, etc. And we want all of our attendees to be safe. We also have in that know before you go email about reiterating our professional conduct at meetings policy, etc. Okay, I see some other questions here. As a member, is there a code we should, I'm sorry, it's moving too quickly. Is there a code we should use to join the groups without a fee? I should have mentioned this earlier. Student members get 3 free student scientific group or network memberships. If you're a full member, one membership comes with your one scientific group or network membership comes with your membership, which when you join or rejoin, you assign what group you want to be part of, and you can join additional ones for $20 each. So I hope that that answers the question. So it's a great benefit to still being a student, because we want to encourage you to look at different scientific groups and networks. It doesn't have to be the same 3 every year also while you're a student. You may want to switch that around, and you're free to do that. Is there a competition or price for poster presentation too? I think maybe you mean prize. No, some of the scientific groups and networks, we're trying to encourage them to have the poster sessions be more interactive and to have competitions on site, but I don't think we're quite there yet, and that's sort of an AADOCR initiative that we are working on. So for the most part, the posters, if you're not already part of a competition, there's not an additional one on site. Yes, there's somebody that's either from New York or has been to New York. The number 7 train goes right to the Javits Center. So thank you, Dr. Best. Should we send the poster as a PowerPoint? No, I don't think you need to do that, correct?
That is
Flo, you just
correct.
need to have the
Yep.
hang poster.
Just bring the poster. There are PDF previews, which some people have been confused by, but that's just to encourage other people to stop by your poster or your oral session. So we encourage you to think of it as a trailer for a movie, but a trailer for your scientific presentation, kind of a 1-slide little image.
Good analogy, the day after the Oscars. I received an email that the deadline is the 3rd of March. Which deadline would that have been?
That is for the PDF previews, correct? So if you're planning on getting a preview in for your poster or your oral presentation, these are just for abstract presentations. So if you're a symposia or hands-on workshop or anything else, that this is not a thing we're requesting. But for any abstract, please submit those today by end of day.
And that's just so that gets uploaded and other people can see it. It's not, as you
Correct.
said, it's optional. If you can get it to us by today, then that can be posted.
Correct.
Are there specific requirements for the poster preview? I assume that's for this
There are
slide
no
preview, right?
there are no particular requirements. It is kind of free for you to determine what you would like to do. We, encourage it to be kind of a, think of a one PowerPoint slide in a PDF that's saved as a PDF that basically just says, here's what my presentation is going to be about. Stop by to, some intriguing little bit of information that makes people want to read your full abstract.
Not seeing any other questions or anybody coming off mute. I want to thank everybody for joining today, and go to our website. You can see the schedule also of not all the scientific groups, but many of the scientific groups are having virtual meetings this week. So attend those, and then we will see you in New York next week. Flo, do you have another question? Sorry.
I am seeing one person in the Q&A.
Oh, I don't even see the Q&A.
I think it might be hidden in the more area because there's so many icons. And they're talking about their presentation, their abstract they submitted for Spain. Those are still under review, so notifications will be going out. I don't have that right in front of me, but
Yeah, that's
they have
sometime in
not gone.
April, I think.
Yes, I believe, yeah.
Yes, that's a little ways
Yeah,
away.
early to mid-April. So you'll
Yeah,
be
so-
notified if it was accepted.
Yeah, it's with the groups and networks now, but they have to review it, and then there's a secondary level of review. So it does get thoroughly reviewed, but good luck, and I hope it gets accepted. And terrific that you're coming both to New York and to Barcelona. Thank you. A question from Sherry Yang for the first presenter. Do we need to use the standard icon or just a text? You can either use the icon that we've provided, or you can just add text. And again, it's not required. It's just something that's nice to have. Okay. I'm not seeing any other questions, but I don't want to jump the gun. Now I found the Q&A button. I don't see any additional questions there. So again, I will see you in New York. Feel free to stop me and say hello. There's going to be a lot going on in New York, and we're looking forward to a very exciting meeting. See you there. Thanks.